Decided to visit Wat Thong. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Probably not. This is right near the Ekkamai station, so I could see the golden towers and a giant Buddha from far away from the train station, and I just had to visit. I haven't even done probably any of the typical touristy visits on this trip. I did go to see the Golden Buddha, but was unable to get in because they no longer allow recording and photography, so I decided to back off. But there are all these other temples that you can visit, and some of them are quite magnificent and just plain interesting. So this was my Halloween visit, and the whole town of Bangkok is full of Halloween people dressed up, people walking around made up as monsters and everything. The reality about Halloween is that it's actually a disgusting satanic cult holiday. What they do when they send out the kids to collect candy, it's really a mockery of the Holy Communion. You give a little piece of food instead of what the priest would give you, which would be a blessed holy piece of bread. You give a little bit of some candy that's going to ruin their teeth, and the kids go from place to place, and everybody's dressed up as demons and lower entities, which is not good. And the world is more than eager to copy any stupid thing that comes out of the US. So I just went to this temple instead, and there is no line, no tickets, nobody bothered me. So I was wondering if you could take pictures here. So I was kind of cautious to do it, but nobody bothered me. I saw a number of monks walking around, and even a security guard kind of checked me out, but no words were exchanged, and it looks like anybody can just go in. I did not dare to try to go into the interior of any of these temples, so this is all external footage. But the externals are really impressive also. There's a lot of gold here. There's a huge golden statue on the outside, and there are several of them even in front of some of the buildings. You see a cat there. There are all these homeless cats. Some of the temples attract dogs, others cats. So this is a cat temple. In fact, there is a temple with cows, which I believe the temple people are keeping, but not for harm, so it's probably for the milk. And they had this bonsai collection. I used to have a relatively low-cost bonsai collection myself, so I kind of checked it out. I no longer keep a bonsai because I feel that it's cruel to compress a tree into a teeny tiny size instead of allowing it to grow into the full size where it would grow, unless you're cultivating something that would not grow that big anyway. So there are all these golden peaks, like a cathedral, a giant golden Buddha. I don't know if any real gold is involved here, but it's entirely possible because the big golden Buddha at the other Wat Tramit, or what it's called, that's a 5-ton solid gold object, the largest gold object in the world, or the largest gold object in the world. So I would not be surprised if some gold plating would be involved, because these people have true piety, and it's actually very likely that they put up the money to do something as fancy as that. Now there is new construction going on, and just like with the other temples, the new buildings are all lousy modern buildings. They don't have the charm and the artistry of the old ones, like you see here. People who are not familiar with Buddhism think that this is idol worship because these statues are supposed to be some kind of a god. That's not the case. The statues with the Buddha sitting around simply represent perfection, the enlightened person, and enlightenment is accessible to absolutely everybody. So this is just a symbol. It's not idol worship at all. And of course, Christian and Muslim views of what the Buddhists say about nirvana and everything are all false. And I'm saying this as a person who spent years studying it. Although I was studying Japanese and to some extent Korean Buddhism, which is Northern Buddhism, it's a bit different. The difference is the same as when you compare Protestantism, which is really Northern Christianity, with Catholicism, which is the Christianity of the Mediterranean and the South. I thought the buildings were really impressive. Everything, those little, the various gold and other colors you see are made up of teeny tiny chips of colored glass about the size of your thumbnail. And years ago, maybe a decade ago, one of the guides at the Royal Palace in Western Bangkok told me that each of those pieces cost $1. So in today's dollar, that would probably be $2 per each one of those little things. And it takes quite a while to actually install them, to put them up. After we have visited a number of these temples, they don't look so different, but there is always something unique about each one of them. I tried to befriend one of the cats. He was really friendly in the beginning and let me pet him. In fact, he came around and started rubbing himself against my foot, and then he ended up trying to bite me and I pulled back. For some reason, they don't have a long tail. I don't know if that's because of some accident or somebody hurt them or what the hell is going on. But they all have this short, curly, weird tail. Maybe that's a species of the cat. I really don't know. This one was a male. And here is the point where he gets angry for some reason. I don't understand why. And I just pulled back and that was it. But all of the Buddhist temples have these animals gathering up because the monks are protecting them. Sometimes they are feeding them as well, and they know that they are safe. This is true even of fishes. Even in the river, when you get near a temple, it's totally full of fish. You just look down in the water and fishes are all over. So this was my Halloween. This is right next to Ekkamai station, which is mostly known as a bus station where you can take the bus to Pattaya and Hua Hin and places like that. It was better than actually doing Halloween.